Have you seen the news lately?
What's on our mind can be the hardest subject, so ask us what's on ours.
A proper chat can help ease our stress
and reduce our anxiety.
So what are you waiting for?
Get talking.
Have you seen the news lately?
What's on our mind can be the hardest subject, so ask us what's on ours.
A proper chat can help ease our stress
and reduce our anxiety.
So what are you waiting for?
Get talking.
First thing today will be lovely and warm, and by breakfast time it could be on the sunny side. Heinz tomato ketchup, no added sugar and salt, sponsors STV National Weather.
Good evening to you. Blustery winds whipping up and strengthening in the next 24 to 48 hours. Feeling cool for many of us as rain heads in to accompany that windy weather. And in the meantime, a good deal of cloud tonight. Rain moving its way through Northern Ireland. Blustery downpours getting going across Wales and southern England into the small hours. Here, a soggy start to the new day. Otherwise, well, staying quite blustery, and those brisk winds will keep mist, fog and frost at bay. And here, just a little drier, but a lot of cloud to start the new day before things perk up, cheering up quite nicely as that sunshine returns across the north and the east. Otherwise, a very different story. We've got thick cloud, several hours of solid, substantial rain to come, a bit of a soaking for parts of Northern Ireland, parts of southern Britain. Here, lots of standing water and surface spray on the roads, giving poor visibility. And to accompany that rainfall, quite strong gusty winds, damaging gusts and gales. Elsewhere, a blustery day, but a drier one. Highs of 17 or 18 degrees.
Heinz tomato ketchup, no added sugar and salt, sponsors STV National Weather.
You know what I want, you know what I need, you give me something.
A story well told is a beautiful thing.
All this brand new drama is free to watch. Find it now on STV Player.
Hello, good evening. In his first conference speech as SNP leader, Humza Yousaf announced council tax will be frozen next year, while he pledged £300 million to cut NHS waiting lists. As he closed the Aberdeen gathering, the First Minister also called the scenes from the Middle East heartbreaking and urged more help from the international community and the UK government. Here's our political editor, Colin Mackay.
In the midst of an international crisis, Humza Yousaf is facing a family crisis with his in-laws stuck in Gaza.
The hostages must be released and a humanitarian corridor must be open. Vital supplies let in and Gazans who want to leave must be allowed to leave. The blockade of Gaza must end. We are absolutely clear. The life of a Palestinian is equal to the life of an Israeli.
He's not taking sides there or here.
And as long as I'm First Minister, let me be abundantly clear. There is no room for anti-Semitism, Islamophobia or hatred of any kind here in Scotland.
He acknowledged defeat in the Rutherglen by-election and said it was time for the Scottish Government to focus on delivery.
We have consulted on what level the council tax should be next year. At conference, we have listened and we have reached our decision. I can announce to the people of Scotland that next year your council tax will be frozen. And that's the SNP delivering for people when they need it the most.
He announced plans to cut hospital waiting lists by 100,000 patients by 2026, invest in jobs in offshore wind and invest in housing.
I am delighted to announce our most ambitious proposal yet. I can confirm that by the end of this Parliament, the SNP government will, subject of course to due diligence and appropriate market testing, we will go directly to the international bond market for the first time in our own right.
On independence,
at the next election, page 1, line 1 of our manifesto will say, vote SNP for Scotland to become an independent country. Together, united, let's get out there and make it happen. Thank you, Conference.
Hamza Youssef got almost as many standing ovations as Nicola Sturgeon at a conference speech, and this was his first time as leader. He's persuaded the crowd here. Now he has to persuade the country.
I think it's about the 4th or 5th time I've cried this conference. It was fantastic, just what we needed to hear. It's a really important time for us as a party, and I think he's brought us all together again.
The compassion he has between the Palestinians and the Israelis was, I think, really what the country needs. We need to talk rather than picking up arms to fight each other.
When we're going out speaking to people, cost of living is the first thing that people are talking about. So I think giving that reassurance to people that it's at the front and foremost of our decision making coming forward.
On the back of a by-election battering, Hamza Youssef has lifted his party's spirits, ending with a call for unity.
Colin Mackay there. An investigation is underway after a baby boy died after being rescued from a sea loch in the West Highlands. 2 people were recovered from the shore at Alpool Harbour yesterday afternoon. The child was flown by air ambulance to Raigmore Hospital in Inverness. Police said he was pronounced dead a short time later. A report will be submitted to the Procurator Fiscal. The murderer, Edward Kearney, has died at the age of 81. Kearney was jailed alongside his partner Avril Jones in 2019 for killing a vulnerable woman, Margaret Fleming, who lived with them. Margaret hadn't been seen since 1999. Despite extensive searches in the area near Kearney's Inverclyde home, her body has never been found. GMB and Unite members working in schools have voted to accept a pay offer from local government. However, the same deal was rejected yesterday by Unison. It means the prospect of strike action may still disrupt classrooms across Scotland this winter. Now, all 114 turbines are now turning at Scotland's biggest offshore wind farm, generating enough energy to power 2/3 of households. Seagreen, 17 miles off the Angus coast, will produce green, clean power for the next 25 years. It comes as the Rosebank oil field was given the green light. Amid accusations, the Prime Minister is watering down climate change policy, decisions described as a concerning direction of travel by those behind the £3 billion wind farm development. Lynn Rankin has more.
Stretching into the skies high above the North Sea, a wind of change is blowing. 17 miles off the Angus coast, we steer into Seagreen. 114 turbines have been installed, making it Scotland's largest offshore wind farm.
We're all extremely proud of it. We're providing 1.6 million homes in Scotland with clean, green energy at full capacity. And that equates to around 2/3 of Scotland's homes.
Bobbing beneath these giant turbines, you get a real sense of their sheer scale. Each turbine is twice the height of Big Ben, but will they help drive down sky-high energy bills?
Well, we're really in an energy transition now, away from a reliance on fossil fuels towards renewable sources of energy. And, you know, in terms of energy bills, renewables, you know, definitively have been demonstrated it drives down the cost of wholesale energy, and that feeds through into lower energy bills. The more the wind that's blowing, the more of these projects that we build and commission, that drives down the cost of energy in real time because we're just burning less gas.
But navigating towards net zero has taken a turn, with the UK government rolling back on climate change commitments. Rosebank, Scotland's largest untapped oil field, was given the go-ahead last month, with the Prime Minister also delaying a ban on new petrol and diesel cars.
It is a concerning direction of travel from the current government, but what I would say that offshore wind has going for it is that it is very cheap. You know, it is one of the most cost-effective forms of generation. It's also clean power, which, you know, we need to get to the targets that we have committed to, and it helps us with our homegrown energy security.
80 full-time jobs have been created, with many maintenance staff housed in this vessel, while others oversee operations from its base at Montrose Port. An extra 34 turbines is planned at Seagreen, but it could soon be dwarfed by the neighbouring Berwick Bank wind farm, which, if given the go-ahead, will be 4 times bigger. The First Minister says developments like this are key to steering a path away from oil and gas. And despite the Prime Minister's apparent watering down of environmental policy, many argue we need to pick up the pace with wind and wave if we're to win the environmental race while protecting people from pricey power. Lynn Rankin, STV News.
A judicial review of Glasgow's low emission zone has begun at the Court of Session in Edinburgh. The scheme, introduced in June, imposes fines on the most polluting vehicles entering restricted areas. The council say it'll help reduce air pollution, but some businesses want it scrapped.
We're getting harmed left, right and centre by this. We feel it was rushed in, ill-conceived and poorly executed.
There's evidence from Scotland that air pollution is contributing to early mortality and other conditions that people suffer with.
The STV studios in Glasgow and surrounding homes and businesses in the Govan Road area have been evacuated tonight after emergency services responded to reports of a suspicious vehicle in the area. Police say they are investigating an ongoing incident after the discovery near the Pacific Quay headquarters. Programming will continue as normal, but this evening's live edition of Scotland Tonight won't be broadcast. Football and Scotland have suffered a 4-1 defeat at the hands of France in Lille tonight. Billy Gilmore scored his first career goal to give the Dark Blues a shock lead, but the French were too strong, dominating the game and grabbing 4 goals in the friendly. Scotland's next match is away to Georgia in November. Now, as the weather warning for incoming storm Babette is raised to amber, Philip has the forecast.
Things are hotting up. TUI sponsors STV Weather.
Hello there. Well, as we head through the rest of this evening and overnight, that cloud is continuing to thicken, becoming fairly widespread. We'll see some mist and fog patches forming, some light rain and drizzle spreading in from the south. More organised band of patchy rain will work its way up the western coast of the country, and all the time the winds are increasing, and by 3 a.m. we could be seeing gusts of 40 to 50 miles per hour. So it will be a mild night to come. Temperatures for most towns and cities not dropping below around 6 or 7 degrees Celsius. Now, looking ahead to tomorrow, the winds will continue to strengthen through the course of the afternoon, reaching gusts of 50 to 60 miles per hour by the end of the day. That rain across western parts will eventually start to clear, and for many of us, despite the wind and the cloud, it will be a largely dry and fine day with highs of 14 degrees Celsius. Now, looking ahead to Thursday, we'll see the arrival of storm Babette. That's bringing with it strong winds, particularly around eastern coastal parts, heavy rain, temperatures reaching highs of 14. Bye-bye.
TUI sponsors STV Weather.
And that's it from all of us on the late team. Good night.